courage. I think a lot of the times men at the end of the day are cowards. I think we oftentimes find ourselves responding to sin as if we're courageous, but when it comes to things like purity or integrity or something that's godly, we actually fall short and we become cowards. I can think in my own life how oftentimes I got to deal with business matters, and that's a weak point. And so when it comes to talking to someone concerning money or some type of business structure or whatever the case may be, I find myself falling away and not being as courageous as I could, and I'm a coward in that moment. I think from another standpoint, if I find myself in an altercation in traffic, or when I'm actually out and about meeting new people and somebody rubs me the wrong way, I want to rise up within myself and act as if I'm bold to defend it or to show myself strong. And there's an inconsistency there because that's not really courage, but we believe a lie that it is. Take Brian, for example. He was courageous in all the wrong things. He knew it was wrong to rob the church, but he did it anyway, so he wouldn't look like a coward in front of his friends. He knew it was wrong to holler at Tiffany because it'd make Rich mad, but he did it anyway because that's what he thought courage was. And so when you speak of courage, I think Christ came and modeled that, being the perfect man who came down and dwelt among us, modeled it and lived it. He proved to us that one day we would have to be courageous. The Bible tells us, Christ said he would have to one day face judgment. He would face people who would belittle him, malign him, as he said. And he told us if they're going to do that to the master, then expect that would happen to us. And it does. And so in those moments, we have to find ourselves just as courageous as Christ. And that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be times that we won't be afraid. That's not the real issue. The issue is how you're going to respond once you're faced with your fears. We see Christ in the garden with the opportunity to either be courageous or to be a coward and run from his fear. But instead, he says, Lord, let your will be done and not mine. And he chooses courage. And so in our own life, we have the opportunity a lot of times to either be a coward or to take courage. Even in my own life, dealing with business, talking to people who intimidate me or what have you, I find myself sometimes wanting to take the coward's role. But instead, I look to the example of Christ and I say, man, if God has called Christ to be courageous enough to take the cross, then I, in the same way, need to be courageous.